It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News, live from the MSC Divina. We're somewhere between Cozumel and Ocho Rios. We get into Ocho Rios, Jamaica tomorrow. So we're just sailing along in the lovely waters. Again, folks, if you were involved with the daily screw up this morning, that was me. Totally, me and my technical issues. I was working on a video, and instead of starting the recording for the video, I started the live stream. So those of you that popped in earlier, I know Robin was here and Carol was here. There were several people. I apologize. That was totally, me and technical issues. Welcome to everybody to Travel and Cruise Industry News, and just time to get an announcement.
The health and safety
Typical.
protocols in place on board this ship keeps cruising the safest way to vacation.
That's a commercial
So,
message
your cooperation,
from the captain.
please wear your mask while outside
So,
your cabin, unless
this, of course, is a sea day for us, so they're telling everybody to wear their mask. Of course, I got mine. So, but while I'm talking, I do have a Diet Coke, so I can get by with it. I saw that Kenneth and Hot Air Tom are in the chat room. Hot Air Tom, I'm sorry that you're still tested positive, and you're off to run some errands and hopefully get lunch. Cindy wants a cheesesteak. Hot Air Tom, you can't go to Philadelphia from Fort Lauderdale to get a cheesesteak. And that was the only place they have cheesesteak in Philadelphia. So, Kenneth, congratulations on you guys are negative and ready to go. The first time you do it, just you got a lump in your throat worrying about it. So, let's see. Somebody trying to message me. I can't tell. Anyway. Hi, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 9th day of February. Today's National Pizza Day, folks. So maybe Hot Air Tom, instead of going for cheesesteak, go get Cindy a nice pizza. How about that? So you guys know what to do on National Pizza Day. I know what I will do. I'll definitely go upstairs. They have excellent pizza on this ship. I will be having some of that right after the show. I promise you. All right, a few sailings from North American ports today. Down at West Palm Beach, you got the Grand Classica. Of course, it's soon to be the Margaritaville Paradise. From Miami, the Scarlet Lady, Virgin Voyages first ship, will be sailing. Tampa, the Norwegian Dawn gets underway. Now it's actually her second cruise back. And Galveston, Adventure of the Seas. Of course, I'll be on Adventures of the Seas in April. Headlines today, we got quite a few stories to get to. Crystal shuts down. Carnival changes testing requirements for recovered guests. Norwegian drops mask mandate. Discovery, and by the way, they're also accepting the kids now under 5 that have not been vaccinated. That's another new wrinkle from Norwegian. Discovery Princess will have a new show. Cunard names its newest ship. Fourth Pier in Cozumel is in trouble. Valiant Lady news from the other side of the pond. And a whole lot more here live at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today. So, if you listen to this on the podcast, folks, you can always access the podcast via my accessible blog, accessadventure.net. Also available wherever you get your podcasts, like Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Pandora, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and you'll get the old fat travel guy. So, the other thing you might want to do while I'm on cruises like today, I do try to fit in some pictures and or video clips. So there's always in the description of the podcast, There will be a link to the video side of things, so you can always just check on that, click on that, and go check out any pictures or clips that I've used for the day. So, but because we have a number of stories today, I'm going to get to those first, and then we'll see if we have any time left to play with other stuff. I'll be back with today's news after this word from one of our network sponsors. Back with the news for the day. One of the most awarded and prestigious brands in the luxury travel and hospitality industry, Crystal Cruises, will shut down its U.S.-based office by the end of the week. All office employees have already received their termination letters, and tomorrow will be the last day at work for most of them, while some will stay until Friday. The banks that hold mortgages on the Crystal Cruise ships have appointed V.Ships to be the new management company. Unfortunately, this is the end of Crystal Cruises, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future, said the captain of the Crystal Serenity in an announcement over the ship's PA system. Crew members worry, and they are confused now. Even the captain doesn't know what's going to happen next, said one of the crew on board that ship. Those of you that have been following this story realize that the ships have been arrested by various authorities. Somebody asked about what was the Marshal Service doing in Bahamian waters to arrest the two. The Marshals didn't arrest them. They were actually arrested by Bahamas authorities. The court filings very similar to the one that the judge issued in Fort Lauderdale were also filed in the Bahamas, giving them the right to seize the vessels for the court system. So Crystal is no more, or will be no more shortly. Carnival Cruise Line has joined Disney Cruise Line in allowing guests who have recovered from COVID to sail under certain circumstances. This includes unvaccinated guests who have contracted and recovered from the illness. In an update to the protocols, Carnival this week announced that guests, either fully vaccinated or not, who have recovered from COVID within 3 months of their sailing date do not need the required pre-cruise COVID test before embarkation if they are at least 10 days past their COVID-19 infection, have no symptoms, and present documentation of recovery from COVID from their healthcare provider. The documentation required in order to board are paper or electronic copies of the positive viral test results from a certified laboratory dated no more than 90 days previous, a signed letter on official letterhead containing the name, address, and phone number of a licensed healthcare provider or public health official, stating that the passenger in question has been cleared to end isolation. Must also indicate that they are at least 10 days past their positive test result date and therefore cleared to travel. The letter must also include the date of the initial positive test and information which can be used to confirm the patient's identity, such as name, date of birth, via comparison with their passport or other travel documents. As an added layer of protection to others, even guests who are able to provide these documents will need to go through secondary screening at the terminal. This means that their ability to board the ship is not guaranteed, as it will only be approved at the discretion of the medical staff on hand in the terminal. Now, we'll have to see how that works out. But like most things in today's world, time will tell. All right, the other kind of bone-crushing news yesterday is Norwegian Cruise Line has announced that as of March the 1st, several changes to its health and safety protocols will be implemented. Chief amongst them is the mask wearing on board will once again be optional. Now, Norwegian still recommends it, but it is now optional, totally at the discretion of the guest. And that it will not allow children, it will now allow children under 5 years of age to sail without vaccinations. On cruises sailing before March the 1st, the current policy states that all guests and crew are required to wear masks on board while indoors, except when actively eating or drinking or seated at a table in a dining setting or when in their staterooms. The policy was updated as the Omicron variant surged to say that masks were also required outdoors when physical distancing at least 6 feet cannot be maintained. But as of March the 1st, the policy will change, with face masks no longer required while on board. That said, the company says it recognizes the added protection provided when wearing a mask covering and recommend that all guests do so on board when indoors, except under the circumstances cited above. Another major policy change for Norwegian will be with regard to vaccines on sailings departing before March the 1st. All guests must be fully vaccinated with no exceptions. But as of March the 1st, that policy will change so that kids under 5 who are unvaccinated will now be allowed to sail. So that's the changes from Norwegian. Hurtigruten is ramping up its UK presence as it seeks to recruit up to 200 staff for a new London-based office. The space, dubbed as the Lions HQ2, is set to open later this year and will house global rather than UK-specific roles. One of the things that I find interesting about Hurtigruten, or however the proper pronunciation is, I'm probably slaughtering it. I mean, that's one of the expedition cruises, folks. But next year, they've got a bunch of cruises going pole to pole. They're like 90 days from North Pole to the South Pole with all the stops in between. I mean, you're talking about a bucket list cruise. I mean, that would be one for me. But it's like, $50 grand. A little beyond my price range. But I'd love to do that one day. Princess Cruises has announced that in April, its new ship Discovery Princess will debut a new original production show called Spotlight Bar. The show will transport guests to a vibrant bar atmosphere where they'll meet and connect with local storytellers who will share tales of their lives through song. The show includes a modern musical playlist with cast performances and various songs, including Brave from Sarah Bareilles, however say her last name. Don't You Worry About a Thing by Stevie Wonder, Havana by Camila Cabello, Old Town Road by Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus, Drink You Away by Justin Timberlake, Freedom by George Michael, and lots more. Spotlight Bar will debut in the Princess Theater on Discovery Princess when it departs Los Angeles on April 17th for the Mexican Riviera. Luxury ocean liner Cunard has announced the name of the next ship that will be joining the fleet, the Queen Anne. The vessel will be Cunard's 249th ship in total, becomes the fourth in its current fleet of Queen Mary II, Queen Victoria, and Queen Elizabeth. Will be the first time since 1999 that Cunard will have 4 ships at sea. I've never sailed on Cunard. That's one of the things that I'd like to do at some point in time. Love to do a TA on one of their ships. That would be a terrific experience. I just left Cozumel yesterday. The fourth cruise dock that they've been talking about forever down there in Cozumel, that looked like it was all but approved about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now, appears to be in trouble. It at least is hanging in the balance after a federal judge ordered a provisional suspension of the project. An environmental group called No al Cuarto Muelle, or No to the Fourth Pier, filed for the injunction. They are one of two main groups that have been fighting the construction of the fourth pier for many months now. Plans for the fourth pier from the local government surfaced years ago. However, the project was experienced several setbacks since then. Despite the setbacks, the Mexican Ministry of Environmental and Natural Resources approved the pier in December of 2021, which should have given a clear path for construction to begin. Cozumel, of course, has long been a diving destination for many tourists, and the destruction of the marine environment could cause more issues than the fourth dock would provide. The fourth dock in Cozumel is set to be located on the northwest coast on Rafael Malgar Avenue and will be able to cater to the largest cruise ships in the world. Now, keep in mind, folks, they've been working on reestablishing coral beds, a big scientific project where they seed the coral and then try to nurture them to replace some of the coral that's been destroyed over the years. And part of the objection to the fourth pier is that the ship's blowback will destroy the coral that they're trying to rebuild. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that one. I got a feeling that fourth dock in Cozumel maybe has seen its last. Virgin Voyages revealed plans to showcase the second ship, the Valiant Lady, in Tilbury and Liverpool ahead of the vessel's maiden voyage from Portsmouth. That's all in the UK, of course, sailing on March 18th. The ship, which will feature 1,330 cabins and 78 rock star suites, will be based in Portsmouth until early May before repositioning to its new home port in Barcelona, where it will sail through the summer until mid-October. Royal Caribbean has seen bookings return to pre-Omicron levels, although the spread of the COVID-19 variant is set to delay the cruise giant's return to profitability by a few months. I would only hope that the few months is all it's going to take for Royal Caribbean to return to profitability. All right, let's go see who's fussing at me in the chat room today. Let's see. And again, if you guys were here earlier, I apologize for the screw up. That was totally my fault. Michael's with us. Ken is with us. They're out in San Francisco and ready to rock and roll. Kenneth, I don't know if you got a chance to see that I did have the Miami Vice. It's a mixture of a pina colada and a strawberry daiquiri. And despite the Hot Air Tom's urgings of the fact that I was drinking it wrong and standing on my head upside down or whatever, I prefer either on their own, but not mixed. To me, the Miami Vice completely kills the coconut taste of the pina colada. On the same token, it waters down the strawberry daiquiri taste of the strawberry daiquiri. So while the drink was good, to me, singly, both drinks are better, especially pina colada. That's my take on the drink. So And hot air, I do want to know what you end up doing about the cheesecake for Cindy. That one's definitely going to be on my radar for today. So hot air still in Fort Lauderdale because he's still testing positive. Sonny's with us. Hi, Sonny. Kenneth says, tomorrow we go on the beautiful Ruby Princess cruise ship. It seems like years since I've been on a cruise. I'm so excited. Kenneth, we're excited for you too. You guys just going to have to share what's going on so we can be talking about you every day. You post the information and I'll sure get it on the airways. Gretchen says, morning, everybody. Gretchen's one that was in the house when I screwed up this morning. I'm sorry about that, Gretchen. Sonny saying hello to everybody. Carol's here. Carol was also here on my screw up this morning. So Kenneth says, whoops, I just moved Kenneth right out of the way. It started off, I know, Robin tested positive a month after she had COVID. She had to get a letter from the doctor stating that was old. She's fine now. Amy says she loves sea days. Yeah, I do too. Except I'll tell you where I had difficulty with sea days today, Amy, was finding a place that was reasonably quiet. Where I was yesterday was they have a big trivia game going on over in the aqua park pool with the loudspeaker blasting. So even in the La Serene pool, which is a little quieter, it still was like it was too noisy to do a show. And then also run the risk of them playing music and YouTube picking up music and completely saying, sorry, but that's a copyright strike because you don't have rights to broadcast those, even though it's in the background. That's one of their main tricks anymore. Then I went to just a number of places throughout the ship, and there's at least some kind of music playing and all over the place. This is the quietest place I could find, and there's an office right over here with excursion stuff, and they've had people in here talking all morning, which obviously, they're not going to be quiet for me. They got business to take care of, and rightly so. So, and I don't mind, normal cruise ship background noise, but it was a little more difficult today, being a sea day, finding a place to do the show. Lizzie Lou's with us. Hey, Lizzie Lou. Bonnie's with us. Hi, Bonnie. She's down in Florida. Hot Air Tom says maybe a little of both. Pizza and a cheesesteak. We have a microwave to reheat leftovers. All right, there you go. Hot Air, I gave you a solution there. Bonnie wants to know how you feel. Hot Air Tom. Yeah, we all do. We'll have to rename you Hothead Tom. That's pretty good. Bonnie had her wrist hit by the nuns too many times with a ruler. Yeah, I hear you. I'm sure Bonnie had lots of nuns running around. Tom, you got the wrong religion there, my friend. Cindy's with us. Hi, Cindy. We're just being a little silly this morning. Hot Air Tom says just coughing too much. Okay, otherwise. Hot Air Tom's been coughing for about a month, so not sure if that was COVID related or not COVID related. Nikki's with us. Hello, gang. Hope everyone has a beautiful Wednesday. I was what day? I'm not even thinking what days are anymore. After 3 weeks out here, you start losing track of days. Hot Air says, oops, that was for payroll tips for a driver, multitasking with dual windows. But the cursor isn't a mind reader. I was kind of wondering what that $212 or whatever that said. I was wondering what the heck you were doing. I just ignored it. Bonnie says, "Are you allowed to go to CVS? Allowed to leave quarantine?" Yeah, that's a good question, Tom. I'm realize you're supposed to quarantine for 5 days, but then you still tested positive. So, what does that do? You probably have a better answer than I would on that one. Kenneth says, "How do we send you pictures?" The easiest way, Kenneth, is on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. I can readily use them much easier from there than any of the other ways. So yeah, that works best. Hot Air says, "You will love this. I'm defrosting the freezer in the room. Lots of ice in the freezer chamber. I have Snicker bars in there, and they're frozen into the ice." Oh, that's lovely. Icy frozen Snicker bars. Hot Air says, "My 5 days was up this morning." Yeah, well, that's a good thing. The 5 days was up this morning, but then you're still testing positive. So that's where does that extend, or I don't know how that works with the quarantine. Yeah, Bonnie says, "Maybe I'll buy a Crystal cruise ship." That's what you need. Absolutely, Bonnie. If you got enough money to buy a cruise ship, Bonnie, I need to come down to Florida and marry you right now, just today. So, that'd be terrific. Frozen Snickers, everybody likes that idea. Bonnie wants to know, Nikki, are you missing the cruise ship? Kenneth says it was a very long flight because they made us go back to Washington, then over to San Francisco, and we had lots of turbulence. So I hate that. Bonnie says, "Is it raining in Miami?" He's in Fort Lauderdale, by the way. Is it raining in Miami? It's been raining all day in West Palm. Nikki says, "It turns out making dinner is harder than pointing to an item on a menu. Miss the ship." Isn't that the truth? I'm sure I'm going to miss it too as soon as I get off. And actually, the only thing that I'm really just kind of getting tired of is the breakfast buffet, because I always eat the same thing. I need to go get a waffle or pancakes or something different. I always do the same thing. I don't know. Don't ask me why. But I do. So, but that's the only thing that I'm, actually getting tired of. The rest of everything, I'm loving it. I'm having such a good time. I've met lots of people. I've gotten to talk to lots of people. So, I mean, you guys all know how happy I am to be on a boat. And yeah, I know hot air. People are going to fuss at me for calling it a boat, but that's just what I do. Katie's with us. Hope you're continuing to enjoy your cruise. Absolutely, Katie. Now, Bonnie says, "That happens to me too. When I get off a ship, I try to pay in restaurants with a cruise card. Doesn't work." No, it sure doesn't. The flights are the worst these days. Once you board the ship, it's a big relief. Was your flight full? I don't know about Kenneth. Hopefully he'll answer that one. Man, I flew down here. There was like 12 people on the whole plane, and there was nobody within like 4 rows of me. I don't think I've ever seen a plane that empty before. Let's see. I need to be negative, stay negative until I get my wrist surgery. Oh, yeah, she's going to have surgery on her wrist. That's right. That's what Hot Air was talking about, getting hit with a ruler only. I don't think Bonnie had Catholic nuns hitting her with a ruler. Sonny says, free the Snickers, Tom. You go, Tom. That's funny. I'm trying to scan through this. Bonnie, my dog, and cat Sue, I get less than 1/8 of the bed after they're done. Yeah, that comes with those. Hot Air says this room has nice perks. We get 5 drink choices, 10 snack choices per day. It's like the butler bringing in snacks. We have a counter full of M&Ms and chips. Wish they had Coke Zero. Now, that was one thing that's nice about the Divina over at the seashore. They actually have real Diet Coke. Seashore had Diet Light, which I think is canned maybe in Mexico. I'm not even sure where it's canned, but it's definitely not Diet Coke. I ended up drinking more Coke than anything. So, Kenneth says it was pretty full on the short flight, small plane, and the longer flight with the bigger might have been a small handful of open seats. So it's still a pretty good crowd on the planes. Bonnie says, Bubba doesn't sleep in my bed anymore, can't jump up, but Princess takes over at least 2/3 of my king-size bed. Yeah, that's typical. I have to give my dog some steps. He misses and slides off sometimes lately. Yeah, that happens when they get older. Max the dog, I hadn't ended up giving him a bed on the floor, and he was happy with that as long as he could talk to me and stand up and walk over and put his nose right in my face. So I miss Max the dog. I was thinking about him the other night. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Again, you guys that were here earlier that I screwed up when I was working on a video and started, instead of taping the video, I started the live stream like a fool. So I had to go back and redo everything. But anyway, seems like we ended up with a good crowd. I think everybody that was with me earlier made it back in for the show. So that's good. So again, folks, I do apologize for that. If you're new to this channel, we do this every day, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Talk about all things travel and cruise industry, newsworthy, both in the States, in Europe, and around the world. So feel free to join us. We always appreciate having thumbs up, folks. That helps the channel out a lot. If you haven't subscribed, let me please invite you to subscribe to this channel. Hit the little bell notification so you'll know when I go live or when a new video is posted. And there's going to be lots of videos getting posted. I have just a ton of stuff to get processed and up. So we'll be getting it there sometime. So you guys have a fantastic day. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all meet on the high seas. This is the Old Fat Travel Guy. Have a terrific day. I'll see you tomorrow. I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.